My next question was, what about your upbringing and like your life has brought you to here?
Yeah.
Like, what has Christ done in your life that has brought you to this moment?
Yeah, well, this will go a little bit into the whole like U of L and nursing stuff a little bit. So, growing up, like I said, grew up at Southeast in a Christian home in an amazing family. I have 4 siblings, 1 older sister, 2 younger brothers, and a younger sister.
Wait a second. I gotta ask you this real quick before I completely forget. Are you related to Teal?
I'm not,
okay.
But Teal was my C group leader. All throughout high school, she was my C group leader, and then Tress was like one of my closest friends. And but I'm not related to them, which is wild because our last name is spelled the exact same.
Well, yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, is there just like a 4th sister that I never
no,
met?
it's crazy. And we get asked that like all the time too, which is funny.
Cool.
And yeah, so like I said, I have 4 siblings. But growing up, we have had just like a lot of medical issues in our family, and we are in and out of the hospital a lot with like my siblings. My older sister had brain surgery when I was I was 12, she was 16. That same year my little sister was diagnosed with epilepsy, and so so growing up, that was like tough, just being in and out of a hospital and kind of having to watch your siblings and go through that when at that age is like I literally couldn't do anything about it, is what it felt like. But I noticed like as we were in the hospital, we had some like terrible nurses, like terrible nurses. They're just awful, and it makes the experience like even worse than it already is. But then you have the nurses who are like super caring, and they actually like genuinely care about the like not just how the child is physically, but like also emotionally, and just trying to make it as easy and as like comfortable as possible, and just kind of all that. And so going through that, like after I saw all these bad nurses, I was like, okay, like, this is terrible. We need some more like good nurses.
Like, I'm gonna do better than this.
Yeah, right. I was like, I want to be that like good nurse for a family that was like mine. And I kind of almost saw it as like my mission field. So in nursing, it's a little bit different than I had originally expected, but you're actually allowed to like share your faith. You're allowed to like pray for people. That's not something that they prohibit. However, they always ask like you respect other people and other beliefs and all that. So for me, I was like, I also want this to be like my mission field. A hospital is like a very dark, hopeless place, and it's like, hey, I have this Jesus who is hope and who is light. And so growing up, that was like a very big part. And for years, I was like, I'm gonna be a nurse. Like that's what I'm gonna do. And then I started at U of L in nursing, and my classes, I loved them, and I was still like super set. I was like, I'm gonna graduate early. I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna work here, and I had a plan, like set plan. And that didn't quite work out, I'll say that, because here I am, like, in missions.
Well, are you a nurse, or did you just decide to change it up?
I actually decided to change it up. So,
because I'll tell you right now, I went to school for a year. It wasn't for me.
Right, yeah.
Like, I actually started in nursing.
No way.
And
no way. Okay,
when I saw
crazy.
their chemistry class, I was like,
do you have Dr. Hoyt?
No, I didn't get to the teachers. That was...
You saw the chemistry, you said,
I literally just signed up for the gen eds, and I was like, I'm going to think about this. And then one semester, and I was like, no. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's hilarious. So that's where I started, and I did really enjoy it. But I still stand very strongly where I think that, like, we need more nurses like that. We need more people who are going to care for the people in that place. But I would say that that's not what I was made for. I think that I'm too, like, empathetic and a sensitive person for that, because I think it would literally have just, like, crushed me, honestly. Yeah. But with all that, like, being said, is like that kind of brought me to the place at U of L.
Yeah.
And because your question originally was like, how is my upbringing, like, brought me to this place?
Yeah.
So that had brought me to the last 6 months of my life, basically. And then she just kind of wrecked my world a little bit and changed everything. So second semester started, and pretty about like 3/4 of the way through the first semester, I was really, really struggling, just like in lots of different ways. I just spiritually, especially, and emotionally. I don't know. I'd always, like I kind of told you this earlier, but I always gone to a private school, and it was my first time in a public university, and it was just very different for me. And there's not a whole lot of great community at U of L, and it was tough. And around...
Which private school did you go to, by the way?
Christian Educational Consortium. So you call it CEC.
Oh, CEC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the CEC, yeah.
Like the Gilmores.
Yeah. So my old roommate, Jordan Fall, is actually engaged now to Ben Gilmore.
The Gilmores are like all getting hitched or like
I know.
Married.
Yeah, because they're all pregnant together, and they're all having babies, and they're getting married, so it's crazy. But I love them. They're awesome. So second semester started. I was just in a really dark place. I just was really struggling with like anxiety and depression, like in a really real way, and that I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, it's different in a tough season for sure. And kind of getting into the story of how I got into like circuit riders and stuff, but I like literally woke up one morning crying, and I was like, jeez. My day has not even started yet. Like I haven't stepped foot out of bed. Like this is a problem. Like I don't know what's going on, but this is a problem. Yeah. And I ended up like getting up, and that, like I said, tough season. I was like really isolating myself at that point too, like from God, from like my family, my friends, all relationships. I was just really getting very isolated. And so that morning was kind of a breaking point. I got down on my knees and I was like sobbing. I was like, God, like I need you. Like I need you to show me like what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This is not like I'm not fulfilled in any way. And in the weeks before that, I had some people who I really respected. They were like, maybe you should think about taking next semester off school. Maybe you just have too much. And literally every time I was like, absolutely not. Like, no way. Like I told you earlier, I have a plan. That is not happening. No way. And so I was praying, the like thought of taking that semester off school had got in my head. I was already a month in school, and I was like, no, no way, cannot do that. But it was just really heavy, like on my heart, and so I was just kind of praying, and I was like, God, I want your will to be done. Like I don't want mine. And again, like I said earlier, mine has not worked out well. And
did you feel like when you were praying that and everything, because I've actually prayed that exact prayer, that you were like, somebody else can do my own life better than me? For sure. Absolutely. I remember like there's a field down the street from my house, like where this farmer grows a bunch of soybeans, but it was like cleared out one summer, and I just like went out there and I got on my knees and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like I feel like I'm like some sort of like just puddle of oil like in an ocean, and I don't mix with anything, and like nothing's working right, and I'm like, you should give this whole life to somebody else. Like somebody else could do this better. But I think like what I'm seeing from you is, because like I've felt the exact same way. I think that there are like handfuls of people that you'll meet in your lifetime that are like, to say like square pegs trying to fit in round holes. You know, people are seeing that you're having a hard time at school, and they're saying you should just take a mental break and take the semester off, when that's really not like the problem. Like the problem is like you have some passions and some gifts and talents, and it's like your soul, but maybe not like your subconscious is realizing like you are not like supposed to be right here.
Yeah.
There's something else to discover about yourself, and you got to make a radical move of some kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But I'll let you continue with that. So what else happened there? It's funny
that you said that, because it's like exactly what I'm about to like get into. So it's like
I just set it off for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, during like that day, like I said, the idea of like taking that semester off school had popped in my head, and I was like, nope, not doing that. But then, like I said, got to the point where I was like, God, like, I just want your will to be done. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep living this way. Like, I don't want to keep living this way. Like, I'm ready for you to do something, and I'm going to stop trying to do it by myself.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I had also, like, prayed in that moment, I was like, I don't have any answers. Like, I have nothing, but, like, I know that you're going to take care of it. I know that, like, you're gonna do something. I trust you. And so I like, walked out, you know, I was sitting in our kitchen. I was living in an apartment with a few other girls at this point. And they are amazing and so sweet. And during that season, like, they were just amazing and really encouraging, and always, like, praying for me and doing whatever they could to, like, help me in that time of life. Yeah. And one of the things that they did was they had all of, like, my closest friends write me letters of encouragement and just, like, scripture, and they had given me that, which was so sweet. I bawled, but I was sitting in our kitchen counter, and I was just reading through these letters, and this song came on, and it was Just Be Held by Casting Crowns. And, like, first of all, the entire song literally was, like, my life, like, from the very beginning, but the chorus said, so when you're on your knees and answers seem so far away, you're not alone, stop holding on and just be held. Your world's not falling apart, it's falling into place. I'm on the throne, stop holding on and just be held.
Shout out to Casting Crowns, by the way, because nobody talks about Casting Crowns anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It was like this group of awesome dads that got together and like made this amazing band.
I know.
I went to a Casting Crowns concert in Paducah, and I'm like, these dads are sick. Like,
they're amazing. But it's funny because, like, nobody talks about them anymore. So whenever that, like, it happened to be that song, everyone was like, Casting Crowns. I was like, yeah.
Casting Crowns is what made you realize your life mission?
Like, yes, I promise.
It wasn't Hillsong or Elevation or Toby Mac or...
Like, no, it's Casting Crowns.
Yeah.
And, you know, also, for anyone listening, highly encouraged to go listen to that song because it's so good. And I
still listen to Voice of Truth. Like, it's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. Is I Can Only Imagine by them as well? Or is
that by...
that's that... that's by.
But they made a movie about that.
Yeah, they did. That's a really good movie, actually.
I actually have not seen it, but
it's better than I expected it to be, honestly.
I need to.
It's good. But yeah, so that song came on, and I literally was like, lost it. Because, like I said, while I was praying, like, I literally was like, okay, God, show me that, like, this is you, because I don't want this just to be some thought going through my head because people have mentioned it or whatnot. I was like, I want to know that, like, this is you.
Yeah.
And so that song came on, and I was just like, what is happening? Like, this is insane. And so I was sitting there, and I was like, okay, I see you. I still don't have an answer, though.
Right.
And I want to know, like, what's coming next.
Sometimes, like, people feel like they need to see the blueprint before they can start building. And, like, somebody told me this the other day. It may have been Justin Weiss. Shout out to Justin. But it was like, how is a faithless question, you know? It's like, when and where.
Yeah.
Or, like, it's like, that's the questions that you need to ask. Like, where do you want me? When do I need to get there? And then it's like, how? It's like, I'll take care of the how.
Yeah,
you know?
that's so good. That's so good. I love that. Yeah. And so, basically,